You think you raise your voice only when you must. When you're in a noisy restaurant, surrounded by clattering dishes and overlapping conversations, you lean in and speak louder just to be heard. On a busy street, with car horns blaring and engines humming, your voice automatically rises above the chaos. At a concert where the bass shakes your chest and the crowd drowns out every thought, you find yourself shouting to reach the person right beside you. You tell yourself it's just survival. You're not trying to be dramatic, you're trying not to disappear in the noise. But necessity is only part of the story. If you look closer, you'll notice there's another force at play: your emotions. When excitement runs through you, your voice lifts without permission. When anger builds inside you, your tone climbs higher, sharper, stronger. When passion grips you, whether you're telling a story you believe in, defending yourself, or fighting to be understood, your words come out louder, almost as if your body knows the stakes before your mind does. Think about the last time this happened. Maybe you were in the middle of a family gathering, speaking casually one moment, and the next, your voice cracked open louder than usual. People turned to look, surprised, because you don't always speak that way. But in that moment, your emotions were steering. You weren't just speaking, you were exposing yourself. The rise in your voice wasn't just noise, it was your heart leaking into the air. And this is where the secret begins. Your voice is never just sound. It is a mirror. Every time you speak, you reflect more than the words. You reflect who you are. When you consistently speak loudly, people draw conclusions about you. They see you as extroverted, confident, and socially alive. They sense your energy before they even understand your sentences. Your loudness becomes your calling card, a sign that you are present, vibrant, unafraid to fill a space with your presence. For some, it inspires connection. For others, it commands respect. In every case, your loudness leaves an impression, whether you intend it to or not. But here's the paradox. Not every loud voice comes from confidence. Sometimes your loudness is born from nerves. Anxiety has its own way of hijacking your sound. Stress tightens your chest, pressure quickens your breathing, and suddenly your words burst out louder than you expected. You don't always notice it, but others do. They think you're making a point. They think you're projecting strength. But inside, you're trying to steady yourself. That sudden rise in volume is less about power and more about survival. Your voice forcing its way through fear. Think back to a time when you were under pressure. Maybe it was a presentation at work, maybe it was speaking to strangers, maybe it was explaining yourself in a situation where you felt cornered. You didn't plan to be loud, but your voice betrayed you. It grew stronger, sharper, more pronounced. On the outside, people saw a version of you that looked bold. On the inside, you were just trying to keep from shaking. That's the complexity of loudness. It can be a mask and a confession at the same time. For some, it's the sound of confidence. For others, it's the sound of anxiety. And for most, it's a shifting mix of both. What you may not realize is that your voice tells your story long before your words do. Every pitch, every rise, every sudden burst of volume, it's a signal. It shows whether you feel safe, whether you feel nervous, whether you're ready to fight, or whether you simply need to be noticed. People don't always analyze it consciously, but they feel it. They sense the truth beneath the surface. So the next time your voice rises without warning, stop and listen to yourself. Ask, is this really about the noise around me, or is this about the noise inside me? Is this confidence speaking, or is this fear escaping? Your loudness is never random. It is always carrying a message. And that's the hidden truth. Every time you speak loudly, you're not just raising your voice, you're revealing yourself. You're letting the world see your emotions, your personality, your vulnerabilities, your strength. All of it is hidden in the sound of you. Because your voice doesn't just fill the air, it tells on you.